What up, film family? In today's video, we're talking about the Canon AE-1. Yo no me pienso en casar, pero solo quiero pasar mi tiempo libre contigo. Tomas tequila o vino. The Canon AE-1 is one of the most popular SLR cameras and one of the most recommended cameras to beginners. In this video, I just want to go over my initial first thoughts of the Canon AE-1 and then give my honest opinion about the camera. If you're new to this channel, what I like to do is shoot a roll. In this case, I shoot 2 rolls. I vlog some of the photographic scenes and take some pictures. I share those photos, and then in between, I do a conversational piece of my thoughts on the camera. And then at the end of the video, I will always go over my top photos, so stay tuned for that. Necesito amor sin el hilo. Esta noche somos vampiros. Quiero que me quieras igual. Mujer que no vaya a juzgar. En mi equipo eres titular. Las demás no pueden comparar. No dejes que roben tu lugar. Conmigo no puedes jugar. Porque este partido lo gano. Y tú terminarás llorando. Oh, oh, llorando. Oh, oh, nadie me controla. Controla, nadie me controla, controla, yeah. Y te quiero ver otra vez, me encanta cómo se ve, con ropa sin ropa un 10, latina tenía que ser, latina tenía que ser, latina tenía que ser, latina tenía que ser. First thing I want to quickly go over is that this is the Canon AE-1, not to get confused with the Canon AE-1 program, which is the camera that came out after this camera. And I believe with that camera, I'm not 100% sure, you can shoot completely automatic, meaning set the aperture to automatic and the shutter speed to automatic, and all you have to do is focus. I believe that's the difference. On this camera, you can either shoot manual or shutter priority. I ended up shooting shutter priority on this camera, and what you do is pretty simple, and you just change it all the way to A. You do have to press this button, go to A for auto. It's going to automatically decide the aperture for you, and all you have to do is on this side is move around the shutter speed. In the viewfinder, the camera in here will let you know what the camera is planning on using as the aperture for that exact exposure. That's the mode that I ended up using. Using the Canon AE-1 was pretty simple. I usually like to shoot aperture priority, but since it doesn't have that option, I went with shutter priority, and I ended up finding myself just deciding the shutter speed, but then I was very mindful of the aperture, and I would change my shutter speed to fit the aperture that I was actually going for that frame. And the camera did pretty great. None of the photos that I took from these 2 rolls were underexposed or overexposed, so the meter did a great job in that aspect, and I definitely can trust it in the future. Tus ojos son verdes, no quiero otras mujeres. Yo no me pienso en casar, pero solo quiero pasar mi tiempo libre contigo. Tomas tequila o vino, necesito amor sin el hilo. Esta noche somos vampiros. Quiero que me quieras igual, mujer que no vaya a juzgar. En mi equipo eres titular, las demás no pueden comparar. No dejes que roben tu lugar, conmigo no puedes jugar, porque este partido lo gano y tú terminarás llorando. Oh, oh, llorando. Oh, oh, nadie me controla, controla. Nadie me controla, controla. Yeah. Y te quiero ver otra vez, me encanta cómo se ve, con ropa sin ropa un 10, latina tenía que ser.
Shooting the Canon AE-1 was comfortable. The camera feels good in your hand, doesn't feel like it's going to fall off. I did really like using this wrist strap. I've never really used a wrist strap for an SLR. It felt good to have it really simple and just have it kind of hang and then capture my photos as I went along and walked around. This camera still has some dust and some battery corrosion from, I guess the battery blew up in there, and it has a bunch of corrosion shown all over the camera and dust. But I had no issues with this battery. I had no issues with the light meter. It was pretty spot on. You know, it felt good. It looks inspiring. It's a good looking camera. Like when I look at it, I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful camera. It looks good to add to my collection there. It inspires you to go out and shoot. If you have a camera that when you hold it, it doesn't feel right, or when you're looking at it, it's like whatever, then you're less likely to go out in the field and use the camera to go shoot. Big points in that way for this camera.
Ella enamorada aquí a mi lado. Un día me ama, el otro no más odiado. Pero los dos más calientes que el verano. Nuestro amor es real como cristiano. A veces blanco y negro como piano. Estamos de vuelta a la isla Culebra. Lista para la aventura que nos espera. Yo me puse high, tú viniste por mí. No te explicas bien y tú confundes a mí. ¿Qué más enseña el mundo y otro país? Cosechas lo que siembras, ya se ve la raíz. Veo con mi ojo pequeño un short y su corazón no tiene dueño. No le importa la hija, la mujer de mis sueños. Nos casamos hoy antes de que me arrepiento. Pienso, veo con mi ojo pequeño un short y su corazón no tiene dueño. No le importa la hija, la mujer de mis sueños. Nos casamos hoy antes de que me arrepiento.
50mm is my favorite focal length, so having this 50mm felt really good when I was looking through the viewfinder and everything and framing and going out there and taking pictures. But for whatever reason, with all of these positive things that I just said about this camera, I didn't really enjoy the results that I got from this camera. And that may be completely to the fault of the overcast day. It could be to me not living to my own expectation and not taking good frames that I enjoy. It could be the film lacking yellow tones. It could be a lot of things, but I just don't think the results were there. I just wanted to be honest about these rolls.
Veo con mi ojo pequeño un short y su corazón no tiene dueño. No le importa la hija, la mujer de mis sueños. Nos casamos hoy antes de que me arrepiento. Pienso, veo con mi ojo pequeño un short y su corazón no tiene dueño. No le importa la hija, la mujer de mis sueños. Nos casamos hoy antes de que me arrepiento.
I'm gonna go over my top photos now. But I did want to again mention I was struggling to find top photos that I liked from this camera, which is a little just concerning and upsetting. So I did end up picking 3 photos that I really enjoyed. And the first one is being this cow here. So this photo is a good photo. The advantage of SLRs when you're framing is that you get exactly what you see through the viewfinder. Rangefinders, you kind of get an idea, but it's a little bit up or there's a parallax issue there. So when I was taking this photo, I definitely was happy that I was able to get this shot of the cow like right there in between those 2 pieces of plywood, I guess. I purposely added the tall grass that was there, and then I wanted the fence there, and I wanted the cow there to be in focus. I believe I ended up shooting this at f2. My second top photo here is of this path, and then there's a girl at the end. Again, I'm not particularly a huge fan of the colors or anything like that. The greens are nice, and I really like the path. And then I was going to take this frame. I was already like focusing and then going to take this shot. And then I saw the girl get into the frame, and then I snapped that shot. But it was definitely a complete accident. It wasn't on purpose to have that girl be in the top of that path. In general, the background is pretty boring. It's that sky, that overcast day that just blows everything out. Everything is kind of lit up pretty nice for being blue hour. Other than that, everything looks kind of, just boring. I don't know, in my opinion. So far, 3 for 3 with my top photos being portrait kind of style versus landscape. But yeah, this picture is of Isaiah here. I really enjoy this photo. I think he has a really cute color sweater. The bikes are cute. The kid is cute. So it ends up making a cute photo. I really like that. You can see his dad there and he's kind of hiding behind him. It gives you a different perspective of size in a way. Like it definitely gives you that feel that he's a kid and he's happy and he's there with his father. So it gives you a good comparison of size between him and his father. And I get low and I crop his father out at his shoulders. So it's definitely a different type of photo than I feel like most people are into getting. They usually will include everything, which is even different from my style. I'm trying to get better at cutting things out that I don't need in the frame, and it just gives you a different feel. It's just more about Isaiah in this shot. So this is actually my top photo. I ended up shooting this one first before all the other shots, but this is the photo at China Camp of that maintained historic China Camp studio. I really just like how the light is coming in from the window. When I was focusing on there, I was definitely trying to meter for the light coming through that window because I didn't want it to be completely blown out, but I could see the light coming in, and I like how the counter plate and the cup are really lit up, and then half of the stool has a shadow and half of it is lit up. The only thing I feel like I don't really like about the picture at all is that you can see the reflection on that right side of the leaves behind me. It kind of ruins the photo, but I, in general, really like the way this photo came out. It gives a really nice vintage mood. So that's 4 for 4. All of them were portrait style versus landscape style. Thank you guys again so much for watching. My final thoughts on this Canon AE-1 is that it's a good camera. I wouldn't say that it's the best there is in SLRs. A lot of people try to say that this is like the one, but I definitely feel like the ME Super is there with this, and so is the Minolta X370. These are great cameras to start with and begin your journey with film photography. These are all good options. I feel like a lot of people overhype this, and because of that, the price on these are like at least $50 to $80 more than the other two cameras that I spoke about, which is the Pentax ME Super. I have it back there. I usually have the Minolta X370, which I really enjoy the feel and look of that as well. So I'll probably be on the look for that one as well. I ended up finding this at a thrift store for $30 and I bought it. But other than that, yeah, this is a working Canon AE-1. It definitely looks good. It feels good. But I didn't enjoy the results. So maybe I'll go out and shoot it again, or maybe I'll just clean it and sell it. I'm not 100% set on that. But thank you guys again so much for watching. And as always, guys, happy shooting. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Gang, gang, gang.